organize and facilitate instruction, the founders of Thinking Schools International have classified 5 dimensions of thinking: cognitive, inquiry, dispositions, modalities, and creativity. These 5 dimensions are not meant to be comprehensive or exclusive. They are simply a way to bring greater coherence to the work of thinking schools.
What's really fulfilling is that all of these dimensions work together. It's so easy to sort of, pigeonhole different people as having this kind or that kind of intelligence or this kind of quality. And really, we want to create an environment where students' dispositions are being facilitated, that they have a range of different ways or modalities of representing their ideas, that they're really engaged in inquiry to a point where they understand that there are processes for working through and researching ideas, and that they're highly generative, that they have the capacities to be open-minded and to think with sort of free associations and then come back and be able to coordinate that into action.
The cognitive dimension includes thought processes such as comparing and contrasting, sequencing, cause and effect reasoning, and metaphor.
And we're going to be comparing.
Ms. Laura Scott uses thinking maps to help her Year 1 students recognize their cognitive thought patterns and apply them to a text.
Today, Birchgosh, we read the learning intention together. What are we going to be doing? Right, so I want you to press your brain buttons and I would like you to have a little think. What sort of thinking map are we going to be using today if we're going to be comparing stories?
Double bubble map.
Fantastic. You've all remembered how to use your thinking maps, haven't you? So we're going to be using a double bubble map. Why do we use a flow map? Why did we use it last week to retell a story?
Because we were putting them in order.
Well done, we're putting the main events of the story into order, weren't we? We were thinking of what happened at the beginning of the story, what happened in the middle, and finally what happened at the end of the story.
The inquiry dimension focuses on questioning, critical thinking, and reflective processes for problem-based learning. Amanda Irvine's English class at Beechwood School uses their critical thinking skills to analyze World War I propaganda posters.
What sort of techniques do they use in those posters to make us think that we should come and join the army and therefore join the war? Go on, Lloyd.
They use like pronouns.
Pronouns like what?
Like you, to single you out, make you feel like you have to.
So using pronouns, you, guilts us into it. What other things on those posters are there that help us to understand that they're trying to persuade us to do something?
Go, help.
Well done, So I'm pretty sure we've got a really good understanding of what recruitment is now. With all of those ideas in mind, we've got a good historical context for what's going on. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to have a look at the poem we want to be talking about today.
The dispositions dimension, sometimes called habits of mind, includes the characteristics of a high-quality thinker and the development of social-emotional growth and empathy.
Habits of mind has been a recent thing that we've introduced. Called it Carlon, the Thinking Skills Coordinator. Did an assembly with all of the children.
So we embarked upon this wave of habits of mind, and again we had whole school training, including support staff. We found that we started off with persistence. How do we persist?
And all my children came back from that assembly really enthused, and they were like, we're going to persevere, they decided. And then over those weeks, they would notice if they were trying hard to persevere, and they'd notice when their friends in the class were trying to persevere. And if someone was finding maybe a mathematical problem really tricky, then they would help each other and say, come on, you can do it.
And again, that's been amazing because we've linked it in with PSHE, the whole school child with the social, emotional aspects of learning.
We found habits of mind quite a good tool, and it built on, I suppose, what we were already doing. It was like a natural progression.
The modalities dimension includes the different ways thinkers internalize and represent information, visually, auditorily, and kinesthetically. Elizabeth Chenery's art class at Beechwood School represents visually and kinesthetically what they have learned about contemporary artist Peter Blake by creating a human bubble map.
And what you're going to do is you're going to take green pieces of paper,
and you're going to write your words on the green piece of paper and come and peg them onto Demi, who is now Peter Blake. We've got a bubble map describing everything, or bits and pieces that you know about Blake and the kind of work that he does. Now, if you were to change your frame of reference, because this is everything that you know at the moment, and you were describing his work from a child's point of view, what would you change on here?
I wouldn't use like artistic words.
It will be more simplistic, like just colourful or just bright colours.
Brilliant. What if you changed the frame of reference again and you did it from, say, an art critic's point of view?
So like they'd pinpoint like everything.
In the creativity dimension, students develop capacities for generative thinking, perspective taking, and the elements of design.
I want you to create for yourself a plan of manufacture, stage by stage how to make it. Don't forget your sub-stages.
In Nick Enzer's design technology class at Beechwood School, his Year 7 students generate ideas for the design of a toy robot. In this kind of assignment, creativity may be the most important component to problem solving.
Now think specifically about the movement of the head. How did we get the movement of the head?
You had your robot, you cut off the head.
Yeah.
Sounds mean. And then you get a long screw and you screw it through.
Very nice. So we're going to create that movement in that way. So movement. How could I do it differently? Can you think of another way you could get the head to move? Yeah, Holly.
I put a key in the back of the head so you can wind it up.
That's interesting. So a clockwork sort of type mechanism. I like that. That's very good.
You know how they get both legs to move with those small little door hinge things?
Yes.
Yeah. What if you put that on the head?
Draw it away, and I would like you to start that now. You may collect your paper, get back to your tables.